Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed.com. Today we're going to give you a quick overview of the Kingsdown Select collection of mattresses. Now this collection features a lot of high-end features stemming from its old world craftsmanship as well as its use of natural materials. So we're excited to show it to you. Stick around. So in total there are 3 models in this collection, but we're going to start with the features of this collection that all 3 of those models have in common. And for that, I'm going to start with the coil unit. And in short, what you're talking about here is mattresses that have a lot of coils. The coil density here is a 1,791 coil count in a queen size. And the way they achieve that, and by the way, a lot of times when you hear a high coil count like that, it's because they're doing multiple layers of coils and they're counting layers on the bottom and coils that are directly above those. Here, that's not what they're counting. They're counting just the coils all on one level. And these coils are just a lot smaller in diameter, you can see, than normal coils, and that's how they get that higher coil density. The next thing you'll notice that's unique about this coil system is there is zoning to this coil system. So there's a couple, not all areas of the coil system have equal amounts of firmness to it, okay? So specifically, this blue section here is meant to signify the center third of the mattress, which is firmer than either the head or the foot. And the idea there is to give you extra support underneath what for all of us is the heaviest parts of our body, which is underneath our hips. So that's number one. The other place that they have firmer coils is going around the edge of the mattress. So they have more coil support going around the perimeter of the mattress. But interestingly, they actually have 2 edge support features in the same mattress because in addition to that firmer support coming from the coils, they actually have outside of those firmer coils also a foam rail, adding further edge support. So they really have kind of 2 edge support features in one, if you will. Now I should also note that foam perimeter actually does have some vent holes in it as well. So you're not sacrificing airflow from a cooling standpoint in this mattress by having that foam perimeter. Now we're still not quite done with this coil unit because there's one more very unique feature that I want to call your attention to, which is the center rail of foam right here. Now in the mattress you'd find that going right up the center of the mattress like this. And the purpose of this is to increase the motion isolation properties of this mattress. Now there's a couple things I want to point out here. Number one, you may know motion isolation is designed to prevent someone, say over here, from being disturbed by what's happening over here. Now, pocketed coils, right on their own, tend to be very good at this, right? They can function independently of one another. That's their whole premise. I can press this coil down without depressing the coils around it. So that already is a very good construction type for motion isolation. But they've enhanced that further. Again, sort of 2 features in one, if you will, by adding this center strip of foam, which is kind of like a firewall for motion transfer. It dampens any motion that possibly could get transferred in this coil or across the bed in this coil unit is dampened or eliminated by this center strip of foam there. So that's the premise. By the way, this is what you might see them refer to as silent partner technology. And that is something that is actually only available in this Kingsdown Select collection. Now, moving beyond the coil unit, the next family of characteristics that all 3 of these models are going to have in common is they all use a fair degree of natural materials in them. And I'll start with, as an example of that, they all have 1 to 2 inches of 100% natural Dunlop latex right below the quilt, right up at the top of the mattress. In addition to that, they all use Joma wool, again, a natural material, in the quilt layer of the mattress. And then they use a cover that is like a rayon-based cover, which rayon, as you may know, comes from wood pulp, so it is like a more natural form of cover material there. So there's a number of natural materials they use. Generally, there are some polyfoams in these, like maybe 1 or 2 layers, like an inch or 2 of polyfoams in this. So it's not 100% natural, but by and large, you're talking about mostly natural materials in these mattresses. Now, the last set of characteristics that I want to highlight for you that all these mattresses have in common is they all use a lot of kind of old world craftsmanship in their construction techniques, and it's a very high-end craftsmanship. The first thing I'm going to highlight here, because this actually kind of relates to the use of natural materials, they all use functional tufting here, okay? So that means that you have tufting that runs the entire height of this mattress, and these are thick profile mattresses. 13, 15, 16 inches. There's a lot of material here that they're cinching together with a real tuft that goes entirely through the mattress. That's how mattresses all used to be made, but These days, it is a very high-end, very traditional form of craftsmanship. And one of the important things for those of you who are focused on natural materials is that when you hold the layers of the mattress together with this technique, it doesn't require the use of glue. So glue has chemicals and can off-gas and so forth. So you're avoiding any of that by using this style of construction. But in addition to that functional tufting, you're going to find just a lot of other really little details that are a function of the traditional craftsmanship of these mattresses. You're going to find the velvet side panels that are very luxurious. You're going to find things like the box stitched handles, also made of velvet, that are both aesthetically pleasing but also sturdy and functional, which is important because there's a lot of mattress here. So if you do need to move these things, having those functional handles is going to be really helpful. You're going to find, in addition, metal corner guards on the foundations of these mattresses, just to add to their durability and keep those from getting damaged over time. Another little detail is this cover material that they use. It's very stretchy. It's uniquely stretchy, especially for a quilted surface. Look how much stretch there is here. And it's a multi-ply material, so it's very thick, stretchy. So it kind of gives you that blend of this quilted, traditional, billowy type feel, but also some of the conforming characteristics that a stretch knit type of cover can give you. Very breathable. We also want to mention that this material, they thought to dip this cover material in silver in order to give it some antimicrobial properties, and that helps for people who are subject to a lot of allergies and so forth. You know, an antimicrobial feature like this will help avoid the growth of allergens in your mattress. You're also going to find other little details that they've focused on. This checkered pattern on the side panel is not only found there, but you even find it on the tops of the foundations. So they've paid attention to these tiny little details in a way that just shows how much care and consideration has gone into the design and manufacturing of these mattresses. Now, the last thing I want to mention that all three of these mattresses are going to have in common is breathability. And you know, I want to point this out specifically because you're not going to find a lot of cooling features per se on these mattresses, and that's because they're designed fundamentally with breathability, which is really the most important characteristic you can have in terms of keeping you cool during the night. So we mentioned how the foam perimeter has ventilation, so air can come in and out of the coil unit. We also should point out that the latex up at the top of this mattress has pin core holes in it that allows for ventilation vertically through the mattress. The lack of glues used between layers also allows for more ventilation to happen between these. Obviously, Joma wool is a very breathable material, allows for breathability up at the top of the mattress. This rayon cover is also very breathable. In fact, more breathable even than a cotton cover would be. So there's a lot of breathability considerations in the design of this mattress, and that in itself offers a lot of cooling characteristics to the design of these models. All right, so now let's get into the specific models here and how they differ. And we're going to start with the entry-level model, which is called the Chardonnay. All three of these are named after wines. So the Chardonnay is a 13.5-inch total mattress, and it's going to have the firmest feel of the three. We'd classify it as a medium firm on our softness spectrum. So not too firm, but just a little firmer than medium. And then with regards to how deeply you sink into it, maybe about an average level of cushioning depth. So it's going to have kind of a blend between that hugged or cradled sensation and sleeping on top of your mattress, but maybe a little bit more towards the latter side of that spectrum. And of course, it's worth adding that on all of these, you're not going to get a whole lot of memory. You're actually not going to get any memory feel. They're going to respond very quickly to your emotions. And of course, by virtue of the coil units, as well as to some degree the latex at the top, you're going to get a fair amount of bounce on all of these mattresses. But of course, as we explained earlier, the motion isolation on this mattress is still excellent. All right, so now we've moved up to the second model in this collection, which is called the Malbec, and this is a little bit taller. It's a 14.5-inch total thickness here. Now this model does contain one additional component that we haven't yet shown you, which is these microcoils. Now microcoils are essentially small little coils here. They are little springs. They're much softer than the support coils used in a mattress, so we don't consider these to be really a support material, although they do add to the conformance properties of a mattress, but principally they're for added comfort, just the way the latex is serving, for example. The full sheet of these is 891 of these little micro coils in a queen size. And by the way, that's again not included in the coil count I gave you before. But one other thing I want to point out about these that I find very unique is that these are encased in some fabric that is kind of what they call slow release air pockets. So as I press down, it kind of like takes a second to press into this, and then it also takes a second to recover. So it almost gives like a little bit of delayed responsiveness like a memory foam, but without there being any memory foam in this mattress. But it's rather small. It's not like you're gonna feel a lot of that slow responsiveness when you lie on this mattress, but you do get a little bit of that. And so it gives you just a little bit of that gently melting into the bed sensation when you're on this mattress. So in terms of the feel that you're gonna get from this mattress, we'd classify this one as maybe a medium soft on our softness spectrum. And you are gonna get a little bit more of that hugged or cradled sensation that stems both from the additional softness as well as from the additional conformance from some of the materials like these microcoils. All right, so now we've moved up to the Meritage, which is the top of the line within this Kingsdown Select collection. And this now is a 16.5-inch mattress, so there is a lot of mattress here. You're now talking about a 2-inch layer of latex. Again, that's 100% natural Dunlop latex right below the quilt. Then below that, you're gonna have those slow release air pocketed microcoils again. And overall, you're just gonna have a lot more cushioning materials or more cushioning materials, I should say, than on any of the other models in this collection. Notwithstanding that, we'd probably classify this still as about a medium on our softness spectrum, right? Kind of in the middle of our softness spectrum. And likewise, from a cushioning depth standpoint, we would classify this kind of right in the middle as well. So it's gonna be, for those people who want kind of a combination, that perfect blend of sleeping in your mattress, that kind of hugged or cradled sensation, with sleeping on your mattress, that kind of floating above it type of sensation. That's kind of what this mattress is going to offer. And the last thing I would add is just, of course, as the top of the line model, you're just going to find a little bit of those extra touches here. The one thing that kind of stands out most to me as I look at it is this double tape edge here going along the edge. And that just gives it a nice sharp visual on the top of that pillow top. And also just kind of maybe even enhances the edge support just ever so slightly. All right, so there you have it. We hope you found that to be a helpful overview of the Kingsdown Select mattress collection. For more helpful information about choosing the right mattress for you, go to goodbed.com. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we hope you sleep well.